I'm Diana Weiner from Sullivan Renaissance, and today we're at the Liberty Mall in front of the new headquarters for the Sullivan County Visitors Association and for BOCES. Today we're going to be creating fall containers for your enjoyment. You could do it for your home, for your business, and you can volunteer in your municipality and plant these as well. When we plant our fall containers today, we're going to be using these water labor saver containers. They come in many sizes, shapes, and colors. They're lightweight until they have soil and water in them. They hold 2 gallons of water on the bottom in these reservoirs. And they have a overflow hole on the side, so you can't overwater. And once they are all planted and watered, from that point on, you only need to water them through this hole right here and then place the lid back on. A great invention. There are many companies that make these. Urbanscape made these. Earthscape is another company. There are water labor saver containers as well. You may see them as the hanging baskets through many of the towns in Sullivan County. You will only need to water these every 2 weeks during the summertime. And now that it's cooler, we're planting fall containers, you may not need to water these for 3 weeks. The best way to tell if you need to water, stick your finger in to the second knuckle. This container is 24 inches by 24 inches, so it's going to take at least an extra large bag and a little more soil. This is a soilless mix. It is not topsoil. We want a soilless mix because it's best for potted plants in containers. We're going to fill the pots up half of the way and then place our plants and then fill in with additional soil around the roots and up to the top of the soil that was where the plant was growing in the pot at the nursery. It's always a good idea to set up your plants to see how they will look in the container before you start. First of all, it saves time. Second of all, you'll have less breakage of any of the branches if you do that first. So today, since this is a fall container, we're using millet, and this is a beautiful purple leafed millet. Here's the millet in full bloom, and here are the new shoots coming up. We're also using nice fall garden mums. We're also using Russian sage, which is actually a perennial and a bonus for you because after you're finished with your fall container, the ground won't be frozen yet and you could put it in your perennial garden. So you actually have a plant that will remind you of this September, October for many years to come. We've also put a fun plant in. This is an ornamental pepper, and you can see the peppers are all different colors. It will last through a few light frosts, and then you'll just have the peppers on it. We also have some ornamental cabbage, and you just want to clean up the plants before you begin. And then we have some ivy. So our components are the thriller, the fillers, and the spillers. And this could spill as well. So I've placed the first plant in. It's the largest, and it's the millet. These planters will be seen from all sides, so I'm not going to put it right in the back, but if you were to do this right up against the building, right against your back door, you would want to put that plant all the way to the back of the container and work out front. Here we're going to work around the millet. We want to make sure that we place the plant so it's at least 2 inches below the lip of the pot. When you water, the water is going to take a while to absorb down into the soil. So when you water, it's going to go up and then it's slowly going to percolate through the soil. So you want to put the plants at least 1.5 inches to 2 inches below the soil level so that you have that room for the soil to percolate through and the soil won't go over the sides. So we place the millet, and now we'll take our mum out. It's late in the season. If this was a spring or summer pot, I would be taking the soil and tickling the roots and pulling the soil apart. but it's late in the season. These plants are not going to grow anymore. Any blooms that are here are just going to continue with their bloom and open, but we're not going to get root growth in this pot anymore. So I'm not going to tickle the roots. I'm just going to put the plant in. And that is the chrysanthemum. Next is the Russian sage, and this is a nice variety that's kind of weeping. Many of the Russian sage that we see are an upright tall perennial. Remember, this is the one that you could put in your garden when you take your pot apart. Next we have that very neat ornamental pepper with the different color peppers on it. We're going to take it out of the pot. It has a nice root system. And we're going to put it in. And here's where I need to add some soil so that it's up high enough. So I'll take the plant back out and I will fill in with at least 3 to 4 cups of soil till I get the right height, and then place the plant back in. And now we can see it better as well. So right now we have our thriller, we have our fillers, and we're starting with some fillers. Here we have the ornamental cabbage. Neat little plant. We can stick that in. This is a very full container. We have another ornamental cabbage. We can stick that here. And we'll have to add more soil because these are much smaller pots. And then we are going to put our spillers in last. At this point, we'll just take our soil, and it's so much easier to use a pot that you just emptied to fill with soil. Lift the plant up, make sure that you have everything at soil level, pat it around, put the plant in, and make sure you make soil contact between the plant that you're putting in, the sides of the container, and the next plant that it's going in next to, and make sure that they're all level with one another. There are many different thrillers that you could use in big pots. We used millet in our pots today, but here we made a pot with phormium, which is New Zealand flax. And it's quite hardy into the cold season. It won't last the whole winter. It would turn brown. You would have to bring it into your house and treat it as a house plant, and then use it in your container next summer. So think about all the different choices you have of plant material. Thank you for joining us for our fall container class.